things that I didn't expect and that came to a bit of a surprise to me. What sort of weight loss to be expecting? I remember reading in one of the little manuals I had when I was researching about one person that claimed to have lost a stone a month, and I was like, oh great, so that's the standard that I'm to expect. Then it's quite I don't know, it's quite disappointing when you don't do so fantastically well. And when you first have your band done, you're just like, well, I've been through the pain, I want to get on, I want to lose loads of weight, but then it just happens slowly and it takes a little while for you to sort of bury the idea that you're just gonna be a stick overnight. I didn't expect the tightening process to take so long either. Um, Basically, what they did for me is they incrementally put saline in my band. So after the swelling had gone down after my surgery, they just put tiny bits in it each month, and that's quite frustrating as well because you kind of feel like, oh well, if my band was tight enough, I could do so much better. So that's very frustrating, and that was not something I expected. I thought they just put in like a max amount. You just drink a cup of water, and they'd be like, "Can you drink that?" And you're like, "Yes" or "No," and then they loosen it a bit, and that would be how it would happen. But it wasn't like that for me. I didn't expect to be so hungry so often, because while you feel full and satisfied on tiny portions of food, once that food's passed through your band, you're not eating very much, so you do feel hungry again quite soon afterwards. At least I do. And I just sort of thought I'd never feel hungry. I know that sounds really silly, but I thought, oh, well, that's just what part of what the band does. But the problem with that is it's a bit of a challenge to sort of regulate your snacking because you can undermine your band. Also, the longer you leave your band, the tighter it seems to feel. That was something I didn't expect as well. I thought it'd be completely consistent, and so you eat something in the morning and you have the same restriction as you would during the day, but that is not the case at all. You feel well. I feel very restricted in the morning, and then during the day it sort of peters out, and then in the evening it's really tight again. So it's not consistent, and you just have to sort of learn how to eat at what time of the day as to how tight your band is. I didn't expect meals with people who don't know I have a band to be quite as traumatic as they are. It's a really uncomfortable experience, especially if someone's prepared you like something they've made homemade, and you say, "Oh, I just want a tiny portion," and they ladle a plate like that, and you physically can't eat very much of it, and so you have to become like an anorexic and start pushing the food around your plate with your fork and like feeding it to the dog or excusing yourself to go and spit it in the bin, or it's that's not something I even thought about. It's okay if I eat on my own because then I can just sort of judge myself and put things away. But with other people, you have a certain expectation on you to eat a certain amount, and you can't. People that don't know you have a band, I like you because I can just get on with my life without scrutiny. So if I have a meal with my family, for instance, it's just a really uncomfortable experience. In fact, going to see family members that know is quite I feel like there's a lot of pressure on me to sort of do very well with it, and it's kind of like there's a worry of disappointing people and not having like the progress that that you want or like are expected to have. Yeah, so these are all things that I did not expect, and yeah, I've warned you about now if you're thinking of having a band.